Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for the birthday wishes. Yes, it's Friday the 13th, which is a lucky day, and I don't eat cake on my birthday.
You know where
So,
that expression came from? It's unlucky from Friday the
Friday
13th.
the 13th,
Yeah,
I
because
don't.
the Pope ordered the execution of the Knights Templar on Friday the 13th, and he sent out the execution squads, and yeah, that's where it came from. I think it was Pope Gregory. If I'm not mistaken, I'm amazing at Trivial Pursuits, the questions that have gone inside my head, Corey.
Yeah, I would hit the delete button because you need room in there for more stuff.
You know what? What was somebody saying to me today? And I said, no, I just don't bother listening. I said, I remember what it was. It was during COVID in Spain. The government did some sort of incentive. So when you filled up your fuel, it showed.
Can you hear me? You're frozen again. Dave, let me um let me text him. I don't know if he'll see it. But anyway, I will talk while we get him unfrozen. So I wanted to not forget to tell everyone that are you back? You're on mute now. You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
I don't know why it's doing that, but I don't like to do the show. So wait until I get a different setting. I'm going to go off my mobile because I got full strength because I don't trust the. Well, let's see. It seems to have stabilized now. Is it good?
Right now, you're fine.
All
Yes.
right. So let's see. Anyway,
Hmm.
most people want to listen to you talking, not me. So if I get the jit, you know, Corey, I had a.
I was just going to say something while you were frozen that anybody in the US that orders any standard processed brand supplements from me can get 10% off on my online store.
Oh, great.
So forever. So that's permanent.
I have a weird story. Sorry, did I jump in there? 10% off. Are they
No,
using
no, go.
a special code from here? Is that what
Yeah,
they
it's SP10. It's all over the website. It's just people haven't been noticing it, so I want to keep remembering to mention it. SP10.
SP10.
Yeah,
Cool. I have a weird one to bounce off you, but we'll let the numbers build a bit. It's still a bit quiet. And because of the time difference, so I don't think we'll have a full house tonight that we
right,
normally do the numbers, but they always do it
right.
on a catch up. So I was at the store at a supermarket, as much as I loathe going in there. And I bought these. I thought, oh, that looks interesting. I'll try those. And it's like a long red pepper. And it's a sweet chili pepper, it was described. Let me get rid of this. Something's beeping there. It's WhatsApp. Shut up, leave me alone.
That was me telling you you were frozen.
Yeah, I saw that one. It goes through my phone as well, but on here it makes a noise. So I thought, I'll get those. They sound pleasant. So off I go, starting to cook. I just cut them open, wash them, cut them open, throw them in a pan with some garlic and some olive oil, and I'm frying away. And I was trying a few of them while I'm cooking. I thought, oh, they're really good, those. They are sweet. They're delicious. So it's looked like it's a bell pepper, but longer, like in a Mexican chili pepper. Then within 20 minutes, my stomach started to get really hard and inflate. I got a really rock hard, like it was building up gas in my stomach straight away. And I've never had this happen before in my life. Uncontrollable belching burps, just erupting. Because normally you can sort of control them a bit, but this was just like that. And it went on. I only ate one of them. It went on for about, well, it was with me the whole weekend. So I've never had a reaction to anything in my life, food wise, but my whole stomach filled with gas. And it was coming up straight away. But weirdest thing ever.
I can't eat peppers. I can't eat bell pepper. Well, I can't eat them raw. Cooked, well, no. Bell peppers I cannot eat cooked. The same thing happens to me. Plus, I get pain. I literally get pain. But
Yeah, they didn't agree with me at all. Gave me an upset stomach the whole weekend,
oh,
and
I'm sorry.
a lot of
That's sad
just a
because
lot
they
of
sounded
burping.
delicious. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
what's
burping
inside
is
those
better
that
than
does that?
coming out the other end. Yeah. Well, it could be the seeds. It could, did you take the seeds out?
There weren't really
Did you
any
scrape?
seeds in there. Because that's what
Okay.
I
All
thought too.
right.
And I was like, no, I would have de-seeded them had there been in seeds in there.
Yeah. Peppers like beans can be, cause gas. So
I did not know that because
I,
I eat bell peppers all the time. I never have problems with them.
well, you have to try it now just in case your body. That's one of the things that the topic today, we're going to be talking about allergies. And one of the things I wanted to remember to say is that you can go your whole life without having allergies. And then all of a sudden, your body starts reacting to
Oh,
stuff.
great.
So
Can't
that
can't
that
wait for that.
that could be the case with your peppers, it
Well, I'm gonna
just
the
reacted.
next time I'm going in for a big, heavyweight boxing championship and I need to drop some weight, I'm just gonna eat a whole packet before the big
There
fight.
you go. Yeah. And you can burp in your opponent's face, and that will
Yeah,
be
that would
part
be
of your
considered abuse.
strategy. Yeah.
It would be considered abuse, that actually. It was really bad. It took 2 days for it to go. I could tell, keep tasting it. And I only literally probably had, even if I had a whole one, I'd be surprised. I only had like half because I chopped
So
them up.
I have an amazing supplement that helps immediately for that stuff. It's called Gastrex,
Mm.
and I keep it on my night table. I keep it in my purse. I always have it around for those moments. If indigestion, reflux, gas, bloating, anything like that, for me, it works immediately. Literally as soon as I swallow it, I feel
Boom.
better. Yeah,
I never have that problem, so I wouldn't have it there. I found I
right.
ate a yogurt that calmed it down a bit. I did that the next morning.
Okay, that was smart.
Yeah, that
Very
seemed to
smart.
get it through. And then let the belching begin again later when the yogurt had worn. Let the belching begin. Um, what are we going tonight, Corey? I know what we're talking about, but let's talk to the audience and see what are you going to inform us and brain us with tonight.
My presentation is on allergies, but I thought maybe you might want to hear a little bit about what's been going on with my patients first.
Always, yeah. I love starting with that
Yeah,
actually.
nothing crazy, but weird stuff. So I had a whole family. I mean, not weird in a fascinating way, just weird. I had a whole family in yesterday, mom, dad, baby, almost two. That's a baby that I grew from scratch, so I consider it my baby. Um, of course, very smart. All of my babies end up very smart. But both the mom and the dad have severe dandruff. Their scalp is flaking, and I find that very strange. That they both have the same thing. They eat
Yeah.
really well. So the first thing I told them to do was I asked them if they have a filter on their shower water, which they did not. So I said, let's start with that. Let's at least get you some filtered water with, what's going on your head to begin with. And then I put them both on a supplement called black currant seed. Black currant seed is an essential fatty acid that helps with skin issues. It works through the liver, right? So skin stuff usually um, originates in a drainage organ like the liver or the spleen, and blackcurrant seed oil helps to move stuff out of the liver, and it really does improve the quality of the skin. So we're going to try that for a little bit and see if we get some results.
Hmm.
Um, I had a
So it
new
was the
patient.
mother and father. The baby didn't have it.
Right, right.
Right.
Right, but I bet you they're not washing the baby's hair probably with
No.
the shower, right? It could be something in the shower head
Yeah. So no
that's
food journal on
effect.
that one. You think it's definitely water related?
They have they've been coming to me for since before she was pregnant, so it's been at least 3 years.
Yeah.
They have very clean diet. They're otherwise healthy. He's a New York police officer, and he has multiple injuries from the job. So young guy, but he has pain, a lot of different pains, but it's improving. We're doing a lot to help him heal. Do you know, in New York City, if you're a police officer and you're in pursuit of, let's say, a criminal and
Yeah.
that person gets hurt, that they can sue you personally.
So it's
So
chasing you.
yeah, he was chasing a guy on a motor scooter that had, um, I don't know, I don't remember what the guy did, but he did something illegal and he was chasing him. The guy hit a wall and got injured, fell off his bike and got injured. And my poor patient is being sued. It's just ridiculous. Why would anybody want that job? You know?
I know. It's nearly when I lived in Chicago, I was getting a splinter out my finger there. And I lived in Chicago. There was an Irish friend of mine who was a policeman, and he had a vasectomy because he had, I think, three, maybe four kids already. He said, "That's it now, I'm getting a vasectomy." And then his wife gets pregnant, and because he had a vasectomy, we had at least 7 months of constant wind-ups with him. Like, oh, I would put a camera in your house. And when the baby came out, was white and with red hair, ginger, which looked exactly like him. He was going, Jesus Christ, that was the worst fucking 7 months of my life with you bastards. Going on about Puerto Ricans and blacks and all sorts of people coming around that neighborhood.
I guess the vasectomy failed.
Didn't work. So then he says, right,
Yeah.
I'm going over there now to shoot him.
Yeah, right. That's funny.
Declan was his name. He was great fun, Declan. So that apart from that, the surgery, are you getting respiratory issues as normal? Anything seasonal? Anything coming up that apart from the dandruff?
We're just starting to see people coming in with allergies, which is what inspired me um, to do this presentation. And some people start very early in the season. So it's not the season for spring allergies yet, but I have people coming in complaining already about their sinuses and sinus pressure. And, I personally don't have allergies, but I think I did have them years and years ago, but cleaning up my diet and taking some supplements, I don't have this issue anymore, but I have patients that suffer to the point that they cannot function, that they end up bedridden, that they can't go to work. I have a patient, I always like to tell this story, and he came in yesterday also before the season started just to make sure, just to get like a checkup. But he's a barber, and when he first came to see me, his allergies were so severe that he was dripping on his clients' heads, and he could not work. And now, as long as he knows this, and he reiterated it yesterday, he's been coming to me for like, I think, 13 years. As long as he doesn't eat sugar or wheat, keeps his diet clean, and takes the supplements that help with draining, he's fine. He doesn't have those symptoms anymore. But the minute he violates his diet, boom. And he knows it. So it's like, over the years I've said to him, that's a decision that you have to make. If you want to eat a cookie, you know what the consequence is going to be. So you're a grown up. You know, you have to do some adulting here.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
What was I going to say to you there? Now look, I'm going to say this, but don't get angry if it was you that told me because my memory, I forget who tells me things. Was it you that was talking about eating local honey to combat local allergies?
We talked about it last time. I didn't bring it up, but you
Somebody
mentioned it,
told me,
and I
yeah.
said, yeah, it is helpful. Yes.
I know where it was. No, that's not. I remember where I bought the honey because I bought some local honey from this farm store up around where my
Mhm.
country place is. And then I don't know who told me that now. It's gone. But that could be an interesting experiment.
Watch our last video, and you probably
Yeah,
said who
you
told you.
know, I'm such a prolific recorder. A prolific recorder. But yeah, that would be an interesting experiment, Corey. Why don't you see if you can locate some local honey and give it to these allergy people. See if it
It
helps.
is, it's not that easy to get local honey because, we're in the middle of a city. There is a store in my neighborhood that sells local honey, but I don't really know how local it is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's not, it's a symptom management, right? It's not correcting the root cause. So it's helpful, and I totally recommend doing it. But what we really want to do is clean up the diet and make sure the drainage organs are draining. Because when they're not draining, mucus and gunk stay stuck up here, in the sinuses, in the throat, in the bronchioles, in the lungs. So the honey is not going to fix the root cause, but it will be helpful in desensitizing people a little bit. And that's part of what we're going to be talking about during the presentation is why do people actually develop allergies to begin with?
Yeah, it is a strange one. I'm very fortunate. I don't suffer from it. My brother gets really bad allergies, and
Yeah, your brother has everything wrong with him.
he's true. He was
Yeah.
the unlucky baby. You know, he gets dust allergies, and he came around my house when he was getting divorced, and we're all so sick of listening to it because he. So I was with my mother and my son. I said, "Oh, he's coming round again now." And my mother said, "Oh, he bloody won't shut up about that woman." So I said, "That's all right." So I started beating all the cushions on the sofa and got all the dust up. And he was only in the house 20 minutes before he was.
You're
Have
so
you had a
mean.
cat in here? That was the end of that Sunday
That's
ruining.
the same with my brother. He's extremely allergic to cats and horses and yeah. But there's reasons why some people are more vulnerable than others.
Yeah. Vulnerable. Swedish people can't say that word. I had a Swedish guy's vulnerable. I say what? Where are we vulnerable? He sells, you know what he sells? He sells these. Well, I don't like to use the word, but like if you were being followed by somebody that you didn't like, and you pull out one of those siren alarms. So
Huh.
he sells those, and he was saying it's a a vulnerability alarm.
So okay, so wait, they can't pronounce V,
No,
the
and they even
sound,
make
the
they
V
make the
sound.
car Volvo, and they say Volvo. I said,
I
why
didn't
would you
know that.
manufacture a car with a V when nobody in the country can say the letter V? Say
But
Volvo.
maybe
Volvo.
the actual name of the company is Volvo, and we
That
didn't know that,
yeah, it
right?
just sounds like they're just kind of drunk, doesn't it? Staggering around mentioning Volvo. What? I'm always, I always see the funny side of things, and people see me chuckling away. What are you laughing at? I said, I'll tell you in a minute.
It's a good
Volvo.
quality. It's a good quality because then you can entertain yourself all the time, you
Yeah.
know.
Did I tell you about the electric wheelchair and the Swedish guy? Did I tell you that one?
No.
So I've got a workshop, right? And I've got this Dublin mechanic. He's Gemini like me, and the thing, the bout, we're howling, laughing, both of us bouncing off each other. And I came down there, and there was an electric wheelchair that was charging because well, I don't know. Somebody brought this electric. Can you fix it? So he just soldered it back together. He was charging it. So the Swedish guy was saying, "Oh, what is this wheelchair?" He said, "Yeah, it is. He's underneath the car." And he kept asking him questions. He said, "Whose is the wheelchair? Where did the wheelchair come from? Why are you charging a wheelchair?" And he says, "If you don't shut up, I'm going to put you in that fucking wheelchair." And then the Swedish guy said to me, "He's very angry." I said, "He's Irish. Leave him alone." Honestly, the tears
Really
are
funny.
street. And then, actually, next Tuesday for the audience, I'm not going to record because I know where it's going to go. It's St. Patrick's Day next week, and I already know it's going to be a messy one. So I'm going to take the Tuesday off because it's a massive day. It's going to be really messy. So we're not going to go driving Volvos on St. Patrick's Day.
Or charging wheelchairs.
Oh, charge it. Yeah, I was like, well, what is the story with the wheelchair? He said, I don't know. Fuck, that's me. I don't know where it is. Whose it is. I just had to
Hmm.
do something and he'll come back in a minute because there's a restaurant kind of up around it. I think it was someone in the restaurant that needed it charging. And we have these multiple connections, for all sorts of electrical, all the battery charge and all these other stuff. We got diagnostic machines, everything. So we're charging this guy's wheelchair. I hope we charged him. Charging for charging. let's get on with the show. This is veering off all over the place, and it's my fault totally, you know. I haven't been drinking, I promise.
Are
But
you sure?
no, I haven't been. I haven't had a chance. That's the only reason. Let's go. Where are
Gotcha.
we going to go then? You're going to talk about allergies. Have you got a presentation prepared? Because I need to give you the screen share
Of course.
so you can perform your bits and pieces. I'm going to answer a few messages on here that are coming through for you. Got a few questions if we have time. But off you go, Corey. I'm looking forward to hearing this because it is something that so many people suffer from.
Yes, sir. All right, here we go. So, obviously, the common symptoms of seasonal allergies, or as I like to call them, environmental allergies, because sometimes these same symptoms occur whether or not people are reacting to things in nature or things like dust or animals that we just mentioned. Sneezing, congestion, itchy eyes, runny nose, sinus pressure. Also, what's not written here, itchy skin sometimes. And most people assume that spring allergies are caused by pollen. And often they are, except that pollen is not the actual cause. It's just a trigger. It's not the root cause. So that's what I want to talk about. Allergies are increasing. They're more common today than decades ago. That is due to a more toxic environment, a more toxic diet, more stress, which all impact the immune system. And when we're talking about toxins, we can also talk about ingredients that are in childhood jabs because they have allergens in them, which are also increasing allergies in children. So all of this causes the immune system to be more reactive, right? The truth is that allergies actually are your immune system over responding to something that is harmless. So pollen is harmless, animal dander is harmless, all of these dust. I mean, it's obviously it's not good to breathe in a lot of dust. It's not good for your lungs, but in a healthy body, you should be able to um, have that clean out of your body. But when your body is over responding, when your immune system is being like very sensitive, anything can trigger it. And in the spring, usually it's pollen, but it's your immune system that is the problem, not the pollen. So when your immune system is having an overreaction, when it detects something that it thinks is a threat, such as pollen, it will release a chemical called histamine, which is part of the body's defense system. But an overproduction of histamine is what actually causes all the symptoms that we mentioned earlier, the congestion, the runny nose, the sneezing, the itchy eyes, etc. So it also can cause fatigue. So the other problem is that some people are also very sensitive to histamine. So there's foods that are high in histamine. So if you're eating a high histamine foods and your immune system is overreacting and causing an excess of histamine production, you're in trouble. So the goal is to get your immune system to behave better. And allergy medications are called antihistamines. So they just block either they block your body's ability to produce histamine or they block the histamine receptors on your cells. So even if you're producing histamine, the histamine cannot bind to the cell. But that doesn't fix anything. It just suppresses your symptoms. Most antihistamines have a lot of side effects. They're not good for you, just like any other pharmaceutical. So what we really want to do is help the body to regulate histamine production. And reduce your inflammatory responses, which is exactly what's happening here. So a large part of your immune system activity actually occurs in your digestive system, which people don't really think too much about. Like, where is the immune system in your body? You know, there's a lot of different parts to it. Your thymus gland, which is in your chest, produces white blood cells. Your bone marrow produces white blood cells. Your spleen is the largest lymphatic organ in your body. You have a whole lymph system, which is involved in your immunity and drainage. But your gut is one of the largest parts of your immune system. And the immune system is constantly interacting with the microbes in your gut. So if you have a good microbiome, the immune system works better. If your microbiome is imbalanced, your immune system is going to be challenged. And that's what I just said without changing the slide. So many people with allergies also have digestive issues. They often have bloating, food sensitivities, which is another form of an allergic reaction and inflammation. So one of the first things we usually have to do for people with allergy symptoms is, number one, clean up the diet, as I was mentioning earlier before we started, because things like sugar and processed foods and seed oils and chemicals will all cause the gut microbiome to be suboptimal. And then those foods also increase inflammation. So we have to clean up the diet. And then sometimes we have to repair the gut. We have to repair the lining of the gut. We have to repair the microbiome. Histamine may accumulate in your body if you're releasing too much, and then your body can't break it down effectively. So one of the jobs of the liver is to process histamine. So the liver also gets involved in this whole thing, and very often, I don't know what happened to my PowerPoint. Give me a second. My my computer stopped responding. By the way, Mercury is retrograde. So I'm gonna stop share and go back to it. I can't go backwards. I don't know. I don't understand why. Give me a second here. Yeah, my computer is not working.
You can't use your computer just to hit the back button, you know, the arrow.
That's what I'm doing. It's
Hmm.
not responsive.
Oops.
Um, it's all right. I'll figure it out. You know, technology is not my favorite. Well, my favorite, but Mercury retrograde has been really a pain in my
I
butt.
thought that stopped. Is that still going on? Because somebody else said that to me. I
Oh
thought it
yeah.
stopped.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When is that stopping? Because that's getting blamed for everything
And
quick.
it hasn't been going on that long. It's only like, I think, let's see, last weekend I traveled to Seattle to teach a seminar, and that's when it started. So it's usually oh, maybe this will work. Ah, I found a little button here that I didn't know I
There
had. Okay.
you go.
So it usually lasts for 3 weeks. So the role of the liver is helping to process and metabolize histamine. And when you're very toxic, your detox pathways become overwhelmed. And then the liver is working so hard to try to detox that it really can't deal with histamine, which is less important. Your liver also processes hormones. So your liver does so many things. And very often, people with allergies, they have liver detox pathway issues, and we have to clean out the liver. We have to drain the liver. Inflammation can definitely amplify histamine reactions. Inflammation, histamine is part of the inflammatory response. And then, of course, all of the environmental toxins, pollution, chemical exposure, all of those things, stress can cause your immune system to become more sensitive and overreactive. Hidden histamine triggers, fermented foods. These are foods that are high in histamine, alcohol, processed foods. There's some cheeses. There's a whole list of foods that are high in histamine that we actually have to give it as a handout to people, avoid these foods. And there's a lot of them. Some medications can trigger histamine responses and chronic stress. Aged cheeses, processed meats, wine, anything fermented. And there's more. There's like a whole very long list. Um, Not everybody has a problem with high histamine foods, but a lot of people are really sensitive. And I'm seeing more and more people becoming histamine sensitive. There's actually like a test that you can take. It's called a genetic, um, it's like a minor genetic mutation that can make you prone to histamine sensitivity. There's tests that you can take to find out, or you can just experiment with cutting the high histamine foods out and seeing if you feel better. So, as we said, medications don't fix it. They've just reduced the symptoms. They don't address the underlying cause. So, what we really want to do is have a multifaceted approach to support histamine regulation, support your immune system. We actually want to strengthen your immune system because it gets very depleted when you keep having allergic reactions. Your immune system becomes depleted over time, and then you're more vulnerable to becoming sick, catching stuff, and support the respiratory system, the drainage system, the sinuses, the bronchioles, and the lungs. So this is one of my favorite natural antihistamines called Dehist. And this particular supplement, I've probably talked about it before, but this is my number one biggest seller. And when I say that, I'm talking about not my patients that I recommend it to, but like the general public. I sell these like 100 of them a day. It's unbelievable. So that tells you how many people are struggling with allergies. And what's in here is just simply a little bit of ascorbic acid, quercetin, bromelain, NAC, and then stinging nettle, which is an herb that helps with allergy responses and congestion. The other thing that this product does is it denatures spike proteins. So if you've had COVID, if you know anybody that's been jabbed, if you've been exposed to jabbed people, whatever, spike proteins, I've been taking this since 2020 just for protection.
Is
And
that
I
good,
see
Corey? Is that good?
it really is. I love this. This is one of my favorite products in the world. They also make Dehis Junior, which is chewable for children.
Same
So yeah,
ingredients?
yeah, same ingredients. It's just lower doses and a chewable tablet.
Okay. That's interesting. That's your number one selling supplement across everything you carry.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't even market or promote it. I just keep getting um orders for it.
That's
It's
great.
like when it first started happening, we were like laughing. Like every time an order would come in, my employees would go, "I bet it's Dehist," and then people order like 4 bottles at a time, like it's going to go out of stock or something, and they subscribe to it, so that they never miss their 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 bottle. The
That's
next
good.
thing I wanted, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I don't know how many people know about the spike protein
Yeah.
issue with it. It really does clean spike proteins out. So I probably end up putting everybody on that because everybody's getting exposure to that now. The next thing I want to mention is in relation to allergies is vitamin D because people don't think about it very much, but vitamin D is very important for regulating immune activity and inflammation responses. And this particular vitamin D is my favorite. So this is the one that I take because it has a lot of other good stuff in it. It has um, D3 and K2. It has some minerals, calcium, magnesium. It has vitamin A, which we're going to talk about the importance of vitamin A in relation to the immune system in a few minutes. It has zinc and potassium and E and C and rose hips. So the rose hips gives you a whole food vitamin C, beta glucan, turmeric. It's just a pretty amazing product, and it has cleavers, and cleavers is excellent for drainage, especially spring allergy drainage. Cleavers becomes it blooms in the spring. The next product has a weird name. It's called Antranex, and this helps. It's almost like a natural decongestant slash antihistamine, but it works through the liver. So it helps open up the liver channels so things can drain out. And it also supports detoxification pathways. So I've been on this product for many years because I volunteered at Ground Zero after 9/11, and I developed this, I don't know, postnasal drip from exposure to the crap down there that I was inhaling. And this thing was a total game changer for me. So it's part of my daily routine, and I feel I notice the difference when I don't take it. Um, the next thing is called Allerplex. So, the word aller obviously implies allergies. This supports the tissues lining the respiratory tract and supports mucosal immune defenses. So, all the mucosa in your body is part of your immune system. And this is high in vitamin A. And vitamin A is I think I have a slide about this, is very important for the body's healthy mucous membranes, and it also helps the body to handle environmental changes. So this product also has um, lung support in it, adrenal support because stress makes allergies worse, and it also has fenugreek, and fenugreek is an herb that helps to thin mucus. The role of vitamin A oh, wait, before I talk about that, I just want to show you two other products that didn't make it into the PowerPoint. These are really good for children because they're liquids. This is called Allercord A, and it's a homeopathic, I don't know why it's not moving. There you go. Homeopathic remedy, liquid remedy that doesn't taste bad for environmental allergens, and it helps with the symptoms as well. So it helps to desensitize your body's response to allergens and also helps with the symptoms. And so anybody can use it, but we especially will use this for children, babies and children, because it's easy to take, and for animals as well. And then that must be given with something like this. This is a drainage remedy from the same company called Drainage Tone, and it does exactly what it says. It helps to drain drain your sinuses, drain your bronchioles. It helps with skin stuff. Um, so these are the great products for children, but I actually I take them myself. Um, So vitamin A, as we just mentioned, it supports respiratory tissue integrity. It helps with healthy immune signaling and helps regulate inflammatory responses. Vitamin A is kind of the stepchild of vitamins. People don't talk about it very much. I had a patient come in a couple of weeks ago and say to me, "Oh, saw on this guy I follow on TikTok saying that vitamin A is toxic. Oh no, it wasn't TikTok, it was X. And I said, there's no such thing as a toxic vitamin. Your body of the definition of vitamin is that it's a nutrient that the body requires. You know, there are toxic forms of it. There's bad quality vitamin A supplements. You can overdose on it because it's a fat soluble vitamin, but vitamin A itself is not toxic. That's just silly, and that's very misleading. But vitamin A is really important to help the body's immune reactions, and it also helps eye health, right? The carrots are good for your eyes because they're full of vitamin A. So when your immune system is supported, the body will become less reactive. And that's what our goal is to reduce your reactivity so that you don't have allergies anymore. Um, so if you do have seasonal allergies, chances are there's an imbalance going on either in your liver, in your immune system, or you're toxic and or eating toxic food. And that is the end.
I would have said to him, if you got a vitamin mixed up, I think you're mixing the word poison and vitamin up.
Can I tell you something that happened to me? I put a video on my Facebook page and then it was connected to my Instagram. I didn't even realize that. Of a child, patient of mine, a 2-year-old, who came in. He was very irritable. The mom didn't know why, what was going on with him. And I found that he needed a detox. And I have sample bottles of supplements that I use to figure out like energetically what the person needs. And he was holding the bottle and he starts opening it. And I've had many kids do this. He opens it up and he starts taking the tablets out of the bottle and eating them. Now, these are things that do not taste good. Okay. They're like, you know, parts of their glandular extracts. They don't taste good to most people, but he's starting to eat them. So I said to the mom, listen, I'm gonna grab an actual bottle of the product off the shelf and let him eat from there. I don't want him eating my sample tablets. And he just was sitting there munching away on them. I was letting him dose himself, figure out how much he needed. And I did a little 25-second video of him doing this. It was adorable. His sister was sitting next to him and put her arm around him, and I'm like, "Are those making you feel better?" And he's like, "Yeah." It was so cute. And I got all these idiots like, "Oh, that's so dangerous. That's so reckless. You're letting a child take stuff out of a bottle that, the number one cause of poisoning in children is when they get into medications." And I'm like, this is not a medication. It's made out of food. He's under supervision. His mother's here. I'm here. These are families that don't have any medication in their house. They don't use any pharmaceuticals. But, these people don't understand that. And then a medical doctor chimed in. Oh my God. I'm telling you, it was like 15, and I was being very professional, very polite, just, giving it back to him, and he finally shut up and backed down.
Send,
I
send me
don't
the
know if he
video.
backed down. What?
Send me the video and I'll edit it with really evil music. And then I'll put diazepam on the label on the bottle.
That would be funny. Just don't post it on my page, please.
You know, this is a funny story about a similar thing. We'll go back to some of these questions. My younger brother installs home Wi-Fi systems. Well, he did 12 years ago in San Diego. So occasionally he say, come and give us a hand. We'll spend some time together. So we go to this house in downtown San Diego, right on the water, a massive place. And the lady of the house said, "Oh, can you put the Wi-Fi in our guest cottage in the garden?" I said, "Okay." So we go to this guest cottage, and the husband was a fanatical hunter. And the place, he had heads of every single animal on the wall from all over Africa. He even had a leopard and a lion and an elephant skull in there. This guy was a maniac, right? So I walked in this place. I thought, what the hell is this? So I took my phone and I made a video, said, I am the great white hunter and I've shot and killed and eaten everything in this room. And I'm going to show you exactly. I killed this one with a machine gun and we tracked this one with a helicopter and I shot it with a machine gun. And I sent it to my friend. And do you remember the case where there was an American dentist went on holiday and stuff, and he accidentally shot this really famous pet tame lion somewhere in Africa? He was an American dentist from, I think, Albuquerque or somewhere sort of really normal. And they tagged it to all his hate mail. And I started getting all these hate messages saying, you South African bastard, I'm going to track you down and shoot you with a machine gun. But I was answering them. I said, oh yeah, come to South Africa. I'll tell you my address. Right. It went on for weeks and weeks. And anyway,
Uh,
he was having a dinner party, my friend, and he was living in Italy at the time, and I was in San Diego. And it was about 2 in the afternoon for me, but it was about 10 o'clock at night. He played it, he cast it from his phone onto their TV. And then I had all these drunk Italians calling me when I was just sitting outside having a beer on a Sunday or something, saying, I'm going to kill you. You shoot these are nice animals. So then they were winding up. So I understand how people can just get carried away just because of what they see. Just a little kid eating plant-based foods. It's like eating gummies, but just because it's in that bottle, they get carried away, and then you get trolled and threatened by a medical doctor. That was funny.
I was not amused. I really wasn't. I just couldn't believe how persistent he was in giving me studies that overdose on supplements is the number one cause of liver failure. And I'm like, yeah, but what supplements? Okay, those are bad quality herbs, diet supplements. They're specific, they're not whole food supplement. And then he's telling me those supplements you're using are not regulated by the FDA. I'm like, supplements are not regulated by the FDA, but they are under the watch of FDA for the good manufacturing, whatever GMP thing. They have to follow the standards. Like, just dumb, just so annoying. And I was determined to win the argument because I don't like losing. Uh,
That's funny.
But at
Well,
least I got him to shut up.
yeah, yeah, I quite like a good trolling. I think it's funny.
I don't.
Somebody said that I looked like this 1980s singer, this gay, chubby-faced 1980s singer. I was like, who is that? Let me look it up. And I could actually see it. So there's a
Really?
resemblance. I thought it was funny. A guy from Erasure. It was very funny, but occasionally the English ones they're the funniest ones. Yeah, they're very sarcastic.
The dry
Um,
humor, yeah.
so this histamine seems to be a worldwide problem, though, Corey. It doesn't just seem to be this, we get it in Europe, we get it in Southern Europe, get it all over. So this pollen
Well, it's
issue,
toxic everywhere. It's
yeah.
toxic everywhere. Yeah, that's
And
why.
I was thinking about this in the 70s. I got on a plane recently, and they said, ladies and gentlemen, just remind you we have someone with peanut allergies on board. And there's me opening a
Yeah.
Snickers bar. I'm putting it up to the ventilation system.
But that's because of the vaccines. The childhood vaccines have peanuts, and then we've talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we never we never had any of that, in the 80s growing up, I didn't know anybody. There's a few kids that had hay fever, I remember that. But
Right,
there was
right.
no peanut allergies or nut allergies or, you know.
Right. It's getting, with each generation, it's getting worse, in part due to the fact that there are so many more childhood vaccines now, but also with each generation. Did we ever talk about, this is something kind of interesting. Did we ever talk about the Pottinger cat study? Anybody
No.
familiar with the Pottinger cat study? It's really interesting. This was in the 50s. A doctor, medical doctor, Pottinger, was trying to develop a pharmaceutical for people with adrenal conditions. And what he was doing was surgically removing the adrenal glands of cats to make an extract from them. And he noted that some of the cats did well after the surgery. They were healthy, they thrived, they recovered, and other cats got sick or died. And he specifically noted that the cats that did well were farm cats who chased, birds and mice and ate raw food. And the cats that weren't doing as well were house cats that were eating a processed cat food diet, kibble and canned cat food and so on. And that fascinated him. And he decided to do a study. He took two groups of cats and fed one group a raw food diet and the other group a processed diet. And he tracked their health markers, biomarkers over 3 generations. And the raw food cats, the third generation, they were perfectly healthy. The processed food group, by the third generation, he had a bunch of sick cats. They had all the things that we see right now. They had arthritis and diabetes and infertility and mental illness, like they were crazy. Um,
But this is back in
they
the
had
50s. He was doing it that far
mhm,
back.
mhm. And then he took the sick third generation group of cats and he started feeding them a raw diet. It took 6 generations to reverse the genetic damage that was done by the bad food. So that's actually what we're seeing now. That's why so many more people have allergies. How many generations of population do we have now? What generation is it now that's eating a processed food diet in the world, right? So depending on what part of the world you're in, but definitely in the major cities in most countries, you're looking at already the fifth generation of processed food. And that's why, infertility rates are going up, everything, autoimmune disease, diabetes, and cancer, which, became exponentially higher after the jab was introduced. So this is, do you know that the United States has the sixth highest rate um, of newborn deaths in the world,
Sixth in the
infant
world, considering it's
mortality?
in a first world country. That's
Yep,
extravagant. That's extraordinary high,
yep,
isn't it?
yep, yep.
See that was surprising because I was thinking, okay, that was done in the 1950s, and there really wasn't a lot of processed food around. It was kind of the start of fast food when they've had the first McDonald's and first
Well,
hamburger
no, but not
places.
just fast food. Processed food
I'm
started
saying,
first of all with the Kellogg brothers in the 1800s,
yeah.
but then with the actual refrigerator in the 1920s when they started like making food that would have a longer shelf life, like
Mhm.
margarine and things like that.
Here's something shocking. Legally, McDonald's hamburgers are allowed to contain up to 6% of human DNA. And that's a fact. You can look it up on the website. 6%. The average contains about
So what
2%.
does that mean? They're putting
Well,
dead
think
people
about it,
in there?
right? They sell so many hundreds of millions. I think it's like 81 million burgers in the USA daily alone, something ridiculous like that. Where's all the meat coming from? You would have vast tract, like all of Texas would be full of cattle. If you think about the amount of burgers that are sold every year by just the McDonald's chain alone, there's no way that there's that many cattle on the planet. They would have huge, like hundreds of thousands of miles just of cattle slaughterhouses. They don't. So it's got to be coming from underground sources, which would mean to me that it's synthetically raised.
Well,
Now
I
that
was thinking other animals like
well,
horses or,
but you would still have literally Rhode Island would be full of cattle and they'd be killing them on a daily basis. That's how many they would need if you calculate it. And this is just the USA market alone, the whole worldwide. So they've worked it out. It's impossible. There aren't that many cattle living to supply that many burgers for the amount that they're saying they're
and
serving.
not but not only that. I mean, if you know what the commercially raised farm animals are actually like, so whatever beef is in commercial products is absolutely disgusting.
Mm.
What they feed them, the way they treat them, it's completely disgusting. I don't know if I mentioned this before. I interviewed a woman who's a pet food activist, because pet food is not regulated in the United States, and they use these disgusting
Offcuts. Yeah.
parts. Yeah, exactly. And she was going into detail on this topic, on the confined feeding animal operations. And I was like feeling like I was starting to gag. And then I was crying, I was gagging, I was trying not to vomit. It's absolutely awful, but I'm sure that is in fast food, also.
Oh, I don't eat any of it.
Yeah.
I don't eat any of it. My favorite restaurant here, and I've been going there so long, my son learned how to crawl there. I know the family since, and he has his own cows. And when you drive down towards Gibraltar, is an area there that's where all the bullfighting bulls are raised, and they're in the fields wandering around. And he says, I buy my own cattle and I raise them. And his meat has been consistently that good for 30 years. And he was there before I knew him. I've known him 30 years. So he's raises his own cattle, and he does three settings a night, and it's full every night. That place. It's called Alfredo's. If anybody is in the Marbella area. Now, speaking of throwing up, I'm going to end on something funny because I saw this video the other day in the morning, and I honestly thought I was going to pass out from laughing because it had me in stitches because it's just I don't want to spoil it for you, but we'll go out with a giggle because I'm in that mood tonight. And it's a short video, and let's see what you think of this because you fly quite often, Cori, and me
Hmm.
too. So let's say this for the audience, okay? I'll actually play it twice if you want because it might be too quick. You ready?
Hmm.
He's not an animal, he's sick. Please just let us get to Denver.
Oh my God. Did that
It's like
really
a
happen?
gremlin. And they says it's not an animal. There's another version which says you're gonna have to put that in a cage. It's like this weird baby. Look, I played again. Honestly, I was cracking up.
Is it real?
Can you imagine having that happen, Corey?
Is it
So
real, or is it a comedy
it's
video?
CGI, but it looks like something from a
Oh,
Harry Potter
okay.
show or something like a
It's
gremlin.
really
You know, it's just
disgusting.
saying, "This is my beautiful baby." Yeah. Projectile vomiting orange bile. But I hope that gave
Nice.
everybody. Can we answer the questions? What questions have you got? Have we missed a question? I know we've been.
I actually, Maria, I typed my answer. Maybe you didn't see it. She
All right.
asked if I could share the histamine food list.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm happy to either, you can actually easily Google it and find it. But if you want to email me at questions@drcorey.com, I'm happy to send it to you.
Okay, Corey. Let's say. Let's tell
Oh,
people.
and then she asked, wait, another question. Should we be on a mostly raw food diet? Most people can't digest raw food really well. So our digestive tract is, it's really beat up. So most people are not going to do well on a mostly raw food diet. However, animals should be, in the wild, animals cannot cook. Their digestive tract is designed to handle raw food, including meat. But most humans are not able to eat a lot of raw food.
I do okay on a salad. I do enjoy a salad. Let's talk about your website, Corey. How people can get in touch with you.
Yes, my website is drcorey.com. All the supplements we discussed today are on there. Don't forget anything that's standard process, put in code SP10 for a 10% discount. Free shipping over $99 on anything that's standard process. My YouTube channel, and I have a video on allergies that I just recently put. And I also, I forgot to mention this, but I did a video with Dr. Christiane Northrup. A
Oh, I
lot of
know her.
people know her.
I
Yeah,
met her. I met her.
she's a lovely, wonderful, brilliant woman. We had a great video talking about female hormones and whether or not hormone replacement therapy is good or bad. We had a great time, and I hope to do another video with her. So my YouTube channel is my name, Dr. Cori Stern. Um, and if you want, I also have a newsletter I send out every 2 weeks with information like I shared today, so you can literally get the same information and read it in the newsletter, plus a good recipe.
I spent the weekend in Mexico with Dr. Christina.
You did?
Yes, it was at a conference
Mhm.
with a lot of other people. We just put that rumor out.
You might have seen one of my patients might have been there because she's the one that introduced me to her. And I think she's told me that she was in Mexico with her
Yeah, I
at a
was with
conference.
we
Yeah.
were in Cozumel. I flew for one day to speak at that conference, then flew back to Madrid. I was absolutely shattered. I won't do that again. That's like really pushing myself. I wouldn't do that again. So it was like 11 hours there and 11 hours back for just a one day. But you know what? I met some really interesting people, and I've seen quite a few of them in different locations since we've all stayed in touch. So it's not you never know what's going to happen on these things. So you think, oh, will I really go for that for like just to speak for an hour and a half? And but you never know what's going to happen in the future. What will roll out from it. Corey,
Well,
it's been.
I'll mention your name to her next time we
She'll
talk.
remember she's friends with Danny Henderson, and Danny myself talk quite a lot. I've done a few shows with her, but she is so knowledgeable, and yeah, she's great on vaccine stuff, and she's great on the female how it's affected the
Yeah,
reproductive
she's a
organs. Is that why?
OB/GYN.
Yeah, I've forgotten. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was great
Mm-hmm.
on that. She knew all about the spike protein. She was going right into it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I learned a lot from her, and she's got a huge brain, and she's really good fun. She's very
Yeah.
sharp. She's quick and
Yes.
witty, and she'll hit that tennis ball right back at you, Mahoney. Try.
She is, and she's also sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A favorite of mine that I've met over the years doing this on the circuit. Corey, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Until then, take care. Just pack your summer stuff and pack your winter stuff if you decide to go out the house, because you never know. It's on that thermostat. What's
That's
this?
right. I don't know. I have my winter coat and my summer jacket ready. They're
Yeah, I don't
both
blame you.
ready. Yeah.
I know what it's like. I remember. And I'll be back on Friday, guys. I think I'm doing a show for Charlie tomorrow where we have someone special coming on. But is it this Wednesday, next Wednesday? I better not saying because I'm going to blow the surprise. But I'm covering Charlie's show tomorrow because he's got a flight or something. So I'll see anybody who watches me there. I'll see you on Charlie's show. I'll be back on Friday with more madness. See if I can find any more videos. It's great that.
Thank you,
You think
Pamela, for the birthday wishes.
when is your birthday again, Corey? Which day? Friday 13th.
Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'll make sure I'll send over some dancing midget mariachis right in the middle of your surgery for you.
I'm going to hold you to that.
You'd probably like that, you weirdo. That'd be something to talk about. I don't know where these came from. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, as you said, Corey. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and knowledge again. It's always good fun, and I always learn so much. The histamine, and that product, I'm gonna look into that. Why that works so well. I'm gonna have a look because I screenshotted the ingredients. I want to do my own research on that because
The combination of quercetin, NAC, and
Nestle, stinging
no,
nettle, was it?
the other thing that's in it, bromelain.
Bromelain from pineapple,
That's what dissolves the spike protein.
spike protein.
Those
Yeah,
three things. Yeah. Mhm.
amazing. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you soon. Enjoy
Thank
your
you,
week. See
everyone.
you in a few days. Bye.